Start your engines. It's time to drive Inspector Success.
Good morning, everybody. This is Driving Inspector Success number 22, episode 22. I have to tell you, I'm definitely loving doing these in the morning better than doing them in the evening. I had such a long day yesterday. You know, you would think at this point in my life that the days would just get easier and funner. And, you know, I guess when you get ready to put on a show like we are with Mission 25, that just ain't so. By the way, we are still working on that hotel thing. Oh my gosh, what a nightmare. We've narrowed it down to two, and one is a hotel and one is an event center. And honestly, we're leaning towards the event center. So, you know, I learned something important at a mastermind recently, and that is have faith in your people. And Krista is all over this. And, you know, I talked to her, gosh, it was late last night. And I told her, I said, I look forward to seeing how you handle this. And she is. She's working on it, and she's working on it great. We did hire, for the first time ever, a specialist to help us get this done so we can get it done quickly. I want to talk about a couple of important things, you know. And by the way, if you have not signed up for Mission 25 yet, go out to homeinspectormission.com, homeinspectormission.com. It is going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome. This is our second annual event. So since I've gotten back on track, it's our 18th annual event. We have gotten these things nailed down. The speakers, I put 2 more speakers into place since the last time we've talked. I made phone calls to him and said, hey, you've got this situation where you're doing this and this. Would you be willing to share that with the folks that are attending at Mission 25? And he went, yeah, okay. It's so great to be able to pick up the phone and reach out to people that really know what they're doing. It all comes down to that whole thing of, you know, be successful and be around those that are successful. One of the things that you hear me talk about a lot is beware the 95%, right? And the 95% are out there. I want to make sure that this is very clear. One, we all slide back into the 95%, you know? Even last night after I got totally overwhelmed and everything, I got on my little phone and I played my little computer game for, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, trying to just let my brain, you know, settle down from some of the stuff that we had to deal with yesterday. And it works well, okay? Especially when I'm stuck in a line, you know, like a grocery line or something. Not that that happens that much anymore, but when I'm stuck in a line waiting on something, you know, I'll pull out my little phone and I'll just do, you know, my computer game for a few minutes so that I'm not like overly concerned about, you know, how long that person in front of me is taking to scan their groceries. So it's a lot of fun. All right. Here's the 3 things about beware the 95%. When you set your life up right, and when you slide back into the 95%, what do you have in place that will help you get back to the 4% challenge zone and or the 1% area? I live a 1% life. I don't delude myself. Am I rich? Yeah, by the world standards, yes. In my world, no, I am not rich at all. In fact, I have this tendency to spend almost all my money trying to help other people because money's not the most important thing to me. People are the most important thing to me. You know, it was Thursday night last night. My whole family got together, and Jonathan and his fiance were talking about doing some great stuff that they just done. But money is the most important thing when you use it properly, So what are you putting into place when you slide back to that 95%, like I said, we all do, to get you back towards the 1%, right? Or the 4% challenge zone. And one of the things that I teach people is that I have built systems and I have put people in my life. And I recently, a couple of years ago, added resources to that list. What kind of systems, people, and resources do you have in your life that will pull you back towards the challenge zone? So, for instance, one of those things is the mastermind meetings, right? And I probably attend 3 different mastermind meetings several times a year. I just came back from Florida from one. And the cool thing is I get to give as much as I get. And it's so fun watching how the information I share hits or whatever. And then, of course, I get something from them that I can use to help build my life and everything. And we talked about on my webinar the other night, we talked about the 2-week success calendar. I used to call it the 2-week calendar. Kristen renamed it to the 2-week success calendar, right? And it is, because we've heard so many people say that the reason they're successful is because of consistency. Because of consistency. And I just want to say, when you have systems in place and when you have the right people in place and you have the right resources to back everything up, consistency gets so much better. These driving inspector success things, this is a system. It's all about consistency. I have figured out when I want to do it. And sometimes I'll do it in the morning. Sometimes I'll do it when I'm driving home from my dad's. The thing is, it's a system. It's scheduled so that it gets done over and over again. And the fun thing is, I have a little notebook. I keep a little notebook just like this. Throughout the day, I go, ooh, that would be a good thing to mention. I actually already have tomorrow's lined out. One of the big things I have about tomorrow is you have 2 jobs, and we're going to talk about that. So you've got to have systems in place. You've got to have people in place. You've got to have resources in place. And when I slide back into the 95%, Krista or Jonathan or Susan or somebody helps me get back out of the 95% and back into the 1%. And it is exciting. It's nice to know that somebody cares about you that much. And it's one of the reasons that mastermind meetings have been so important in my world. So important in my world. I just want you to know that you've got to put those things in place. Now, with that 2-week success calendar, one of the most important parts of that whole 2-week success calendar, of course, we have on there date night. Me and Susan went on a date Tuesday night. I think I talked about that. Then we have family night, which is Thursday night now. So on your calendar, of course, you've got family night and date night. And if it's not on your calendar, you need to put it on your calendar. You really need to put it on your calendar. And then the next most important thing, the thing that I often show first every time I'm talking about the 2-week success calendar, is focus time, right? When do you have focus time on your calendar? When are you going to build the next system inside your business? Now, I love these systems because the ones I want to build, I call stackables. It was a term I came up with. I think we were getting grandkids some snackables, to take to lunch and everything. I was talking to people about how you build this and then you build this and you stack all these things on top of it till you basically have this pyramid, one of the strongest shapes in our world. And so when do you have focus time on your calendar? How much time do you have? One of the things I heard, I think it was Steve Jobs that said this. He said that if less than 50% of his time is focus time, then he's too busy. If less than 50% of his time is focus time, then he is simply too busy. And I'm going to tell you that I get that, especially at the point that I am at. Well over 50% of my time is focus time. I'm thinking about what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, and being the visionary for, where my family is going, where our businesses are going. And, it was great. We had another TSN person come in, and I'll tell you more about that at Mission 25. And even as I was sitting there, I went, what if we did this, this, and this? It's going to make this man so much money, and it's going to make our company so much money that it's just mind-boggling. And then once we prove it inside of TexInspect, then we're going to share that with everybody outside of TexInspect that is part of the mastermind and everything, so that you can do it as well. So one of the coolest things is we now have easily over $10,000 a month that comes into our company that it's not inspection related. Not inspection related at all. Amazing people. Well, one, for instance, would be Trandon. Trandon was Secure 24, right? So we're set up with them so that they can go out and reach out to our clients to offer them a security system. And we tell people that up front, and we put it in our inspection agreement, and they can opt out of it if they want. So they don't have to, do anything with that. But they call people and they offer it to them. And a lot of people say yes to that. And poof, we get paid, okay? We get a 4-digit check. Almost. In fact, I can't remember when it was less than 4-digit. We get a 4-digit check every single month because of our relationship with Trandon. Now, Trandon will be at Mission 25. And he can show you how to do this in your business as well. Now, we have a much larger business than most people, so yours may only be a few $100s a month. But honestly, really, if you got a few $100s a month, wouldn't that be super cool? But that's stackable. I sat down with Trandon, with his people at Secure 24. We put that into place, and it runs every single month now, and I don't even have to touch it. So imagine if you had only just not one of those, but imagine you had 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of those. Now, I don't think we even have 10 of those. However, I am always looking at how can I set something else up that brings money in. Oh, and by the way, I love our inspectors. We try to pay our inspectors well. This money that's coming in this direction, that does not go to our inspectors. That helps me pay for our building. That helps me pay for our client coordinators. That helps me pay for our marketing. Oh my gosh, our marketing, we're just getting better at that, believe it or not. I can't believe we're getting better at that every single day. And it's helping me be able to put in an assistant general manager, right? And think about all of that, right? So I talked about the system. Now I'm talking about the people that system is helping me put into place, right? And then what I need is the resources, and money is a resource behind all of that to make that work. So one of the things that you're going to find out when you come to Mission 25, and if you're not signed up yet, I will tell you it's filling up fast. We are just going and blowing with this thing. And unfortunately, because the hotel that we had didn't get it right, we're moving down. Our space is a little smaller than what we had at the hotel. And so there's a good chance we're going to fill this thing up and run out of room. So don't wait. Go get signed up now. Look, I think we only charge you, it's $97 or $147 now to come to this. And if you're not willing to spend that kind of money, then there's a big problem. And I guarantee it with a better than 300% guarantee. Okay? No other show does that. Okay? No other show that I know of in the world does that. We just want to make sure that you get there. So go out to homeinspectormission.com. Homeinspectormission.com. Oh, and by the way, those of you that joined me on the webinar Wednesday, thank you so much. That was a lot of fun. We had a great time. I've got a couple more of those planned. I think 3 more planned until the end of February. And then I'm going to be turning the webinars off and 100% focused on Mission 25. You can go out to coachblueprint.com/Zoom, coachblueprint.com/Zoom. Join us on one of our next webinars coming up. I'm still teaching amazing, wonderful, what I consider very basic stuff, but the industry has been either one telling you it doesn't matter, it doesn't work, all nonsense. We had our best January ever. We are on track to have our best February ever, and it's because of what I teach during these webinars so that you can do them as well. So here's the big thing on Driving Inspector Success, episode number 22, right? Systems, people, resources. When you start building this and start understanding that you have to be aware of the 95%, even though you're going to end up around them all the time, okay, then you have to start working your way into the 4% challenge zone. And then you have to succeed at those challenges to get into the 1%. We can help you do that. And you do that by being around other successful people. As I love to say, is to be successful, be around others that are successful. I travel all across the world to do exactly that, okay? And I want you to be successful as well and be around those that are successful, because the more money you make, the more people you can help. So let me say that again. The more money you make, the more people you can help. And the best way to do that is build your life so that even when you slide back into the 95%, it's like a rubber band effect. Your systems, your people, your resources will all yank you back, just jump you back towards the challenge zone and even the 1%. Hey, this is Mike Crow. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day. Talk with you again soon. Go get signed up for Mission 25.